السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان فضل زمانا على زمان كما فضل إنسانا على إنسان ومكانا على مكان، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا وعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy, lesson number 10b. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. Right, before we start today's lesson, let's recap. After we learning everything about ism, then we started making sentences. A sentence is called a jumlatun, and the plural is jumalun. Jumlatun, plural jumalun. There are two types of jumla we've learned. Number one, al-jumlatul ismiyatu. A sentence starts with a noun or with an ism. And number two, a jumlatul fi'liyatu. Al-jumlatul fi'liyatu. A jumla starts with a fi'l. We are learning about how to make al-jumlatul ismiyatu. Once we finish al-jumlatul ismiyatu, then we'll learn al-jumlatul fi'liyatu. We've learned to make jumla ismiya. There are two parts of al-jumlatul ismiyatu. First part is called the mubtada'un, and when we look at the rules of jumla ismiya, we learn that mubtada is generally ma'arifa. Mubtada, generally ma'arifa. The second part is khabarun. Khabarun. What are the rules of khabarun? In terms of at-ta'yin, khabar is nakira. Khabar is nakira, and in terms of i'rab, the khabar is marfu', and in terms of an-naw', khabar has to agree the mubtada, and in terms of al-adad, khabar has to agree the mubtada. And also the i'rab of mubtada is also marfu'. The i'rab of mubtada is also marfu'. So this is the basic rule for al-jumlatul ismiyatu. In the last lesson we've learned, we add certain words to give us additional meaning. So we've learned we can add kana or we can add laysa. These two are called fi'lun naqisun. So in this group, they're also called kana wa khawatuha. So in this group, we've learned the total 13, but kana and laysa are used a lot. So once we understand how kana and laysa is used, then we can use the rest exactly the same way. Kana and laysa. So when kana and laysa comes to jumla ismiya, what happens. What happens to mubtada and what happens to khabar. So mubtada becomes ismu kana if kana is used, or ismu laysa if laysa is used. When kana comes, khabar changes to khabru kana, or if laysa comes, khabru laysa. One more change happens is that khabar, the i'rab, also changes to mansub, and the ismu kana, laysu kana remains marfu. Okay, so this is the what we have learned so far. So I hope you understood and you went through the last lesson. Is everything about kana and laysa. Alhamdulillah, we've completed that. Now today's lesson we're going to adding certain words to jumla ismiya to get additional meaning. Adding harfun mushabbahun bil fi'l to a jumla ismiya, and what happens to the i'rab of mubtada and khabar. Again, let's go through these words. We have some words: the boy, the water, the house, the man, Arabic. So we'll make these words our subject, starting noun, and the other group of words, sick, cold, new, tall, easy, we will make them our information. We need a linking word to make a sentence. We know is. The boy is sick, the water is cold, the house is new, the man is tall, Arabic is easy. Now the title here says adding certain words to jumla ismiya, create emphasis. Create emphasis. We want to make jumla ismiya emphatic to give us a stronger meaning. So in English, what we need there are certain words. So we're just going to give you one example. If we add indeed, there's other words, surely, verily. Yeah. So indeed, when we add indeed, the jumla gives us a stronger meaning. Indeed, the boy is sick. Indeed, the water is cold. Indeed, the house is new. Indeed, the man is tall. Indeed, Arabic is easy. Yeah. So we're going to learn how to make jumla ismiya emphatic in Arabic. We said we're going to talk about 3 types of words can be added to jumla ismiya. Number 1, fi'lun naqisun, which we have covered in the previous lesson. Today we're going to learn number 2, harfun mushabbahun bil fi'li. And the next lesson we're going to talk about the third one, harfun istifhamun. So today's lesson, harfun mushabbahun bil fi'li. What is harfun mushabbahun bil fi'l? A harfun mushabbahun bil fi'l is a particle that comes before a jumla ismiya. So the name suggests harf is a particle that comes before jumla ismiya. They are also called inna wa akhawatuha, al-harfun nasikhu, or harfun nasb. So the famous one is inna wa akhawatuha, inna and his sisters. This will come across many Arabic grammar books, and also harfun mushabbahun bil fi'l as well. But we can use al-harfun nasikhu. Nasikh means those particles does little change to jumla al-ismiya. So they are all called harfun nasikhu. So this harfun nasikh is used also for inna wa akhawatuha. And harfun nasb, again the name suggests these harfs gives a nasb or makes the ism in mansub case. So there are 6 in total. So inna wa akhawatuha, 6 in total. So let's see what are these 6. Inna wa akhawatuha, or al harfun nasikhu, or harfun nasb. There are 6. What are they? Inna, indeed. Anna, same meaning, indeed. Ka'anna, as if. Lakinna, but. Here, although we write only a fath on the lam, we pronounce with stretching. Lakinna. Okay, on the lam, only fatha is written, but we pronounce stretching. Lakinna, but. Number 5, later, if only. And number 6, la'alla, perhaps. So again, inna wa akhawatuha are very important particles we see in the Quran a lot, almost in every page we see inna. So inna is used the most, and anna also used. Ka'anna, as if. Lakinna, but. Later, if only. La'alla, perhaps. Okay, so you must learn these 6. Inna wa akhawatuha. Adding harful mushabbahun bil fi'li to al-jumlatu al-ismiyatu. We will discuss 2 harful mushabbahun bil fi'l in this lesson. The rest, again, will use exactly the same way. Number 1, we'll be talking about inna, indeed, surely, verily. The difference between these two, the difference between inna and anna. Inna comes at the beginning of a jumla ismiya. Inna comes at the beginning of a jumla ismiya. Number 2, anna, indeed, that, surely, verily. Anna comes after a word. Anna comes after a word. Normally a fail. So we'll have a fail first, then inna. This is the condition of, anna. This is the condition of anna. Anna must have a word before it, and normally it is a fail. Inna, there is no condition. There could be a word before it, or there is no need a word before it. So both means the same, indeed. It gives a emphatic meaning, a stronger meaning of the jumla. The rules of harful mushabbahun bil fi'l, or the rules of inna wa akhawatuha. When a harful mushabbahun bil fi'l comes before a jumla ismiya, it brings 2 changes to the jumla ismiya. Number 1, when inna comes, the first part mubtad'a is now called ismu inna. The second part khabarun is now called khabaru inna. Number 2, the i'rab of mubtada is mansub. The i'rab of mubtada is mansub. In the last lesson, we've learned about kana and laysa. So when kana and laysa comes, it is called, the mubtada is called ismu kana wa ismu laysa, and khabar is called khabru kana wa khabru laysa. But when inna comes, mubtada is called ismu inna, khabar is called khabaru inna. And then the اعراب of كان and ليس, the خبر is منصوب. Now over here the مبتدأ is منصوب. The مبتدأ is منصوب. So we can say that إن takes مبتدأ in منصوب case and خبر in مرفوع case. So we'll have loads of examples and we'll understand how this works. Again, let's go through this chart. A normal جملة اسمية, we need to apply these 4 properties of اسم to مبتدأ and to خبر. التعيين, so مبتدأ and خبر. التعيين مبتدأ is generally معرفة, خبر is generally نكرة. الإعراب مبتدأ is مرفوع, خبر also مرفوع. And now خبر will agree مبتدأ, and العدد خبر will agree مبتدأ. Now when إن comes, what happens? مبتدأ becomes اسم إن, خبر becomes خبر إن. What else? اعراب. What happens to the اعراب? اسم إن, as you can see here, مبتدأ اسم إن is now منصوب, be منصوب, and rest of the things remains the same. خبر إن نكرة مرفوع, now match مبتدأ واسم إن, خبر إن will match اسم إن. Right, let's see some examples here. جملة using إن with جملة اسمية. جملة اسمية. So let's start the first one using إن. إن comes before جملة اسمية. For these 2 parts, this will be the مبتدأ, this will be the خبر. It's a جملة اسمية, and إن comes before, at the beginning. Let's do. Right, so I need to change the keyboard. Right, now we see إن, we need a اسم إن. اسم إن. Let's start with our master, our creator. Allah. So we have the chart in front of us in تعيين, which is معرفة, perfect, and الإعراب is منصوب because إن gives اسم إن a nasab or فتحة, so منصوب. So إن الله, إن الله, and apply the خبر إن, which is نكرة, غفور نكرة and مرفوع غفور. إن الله غفور. So our جملة is ready. Translation will be, let's do the تركيب first. تركيب إن is called حرف ناسخ. To make it short, we can use حرف مشبه بالفعل, we can use حرف نسب. Okay, so حرف ناسخ. Let's use this for now. حرف ناسخ. And لفظ الجلالة اسم إن, and غفور خبر إن. خبر إن. That's it. This is our جملة, and this is how we do the تركيب. تركيب means name the slot. Name the slot, so it becomes easier to translate. Now we can translate. What is translation? Indeed, Allah is all forgiving. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving. Look at the اعراب. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. So inna, see, it has a fatha on it. So it will never change, it will remain. So it is mabni. Because we've said all huruf are mabni. So these are huruf, we say mabniyun. Mabni on what? Some will have mabni on al-fatha. Some huruf will have mabni on kasra. Some huruf will be mabni on ad-dam. Some will be mabni on sukun. So this one, حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. لفظ الجلالة اسم إن منصوب. Now what is the sign of منصوب? وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Why آخره? Because we see at the end. Why الظاهرة? Because it's clear, we can see it. It's visible. ظاهرة means visible. Fatha obviously is fatha. So as we know, the sign of mansub is the fatha. So this fatha, sometimes it can be visible. This fatha sometimes can be invisible. So when we come to invisible one, we talk about it. Now at the moment, it is visible. So we say الظاهرة. ناس غفور خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay, let's move on. The next one, the example as I've given, I think some of the examples are forgotten. So I think we need to look at the اعراب first to get the examples. Okay, let's try it, see if I can remember. And we want to use inna. Inna. And اسم inna is معرفة المنصوب. So al-insan, which is معرفة, and the اعراب will be mansub. And what is the alamat of nasab, which is fatha. So innal insana. Innal insana. We need a khabar. Khabar is nakira marfu'. Khabaru inna. Innal insana kanudun. Innal insana kanudun. So our jumla is ready. Let's look at the tarkib, exactly the same. Inna harfun nasikhun. Al-insana ismu inna. Kanudun khabru inna. Translation: indeed, man is ungrateful. Indeed, the man is ungrateful. اعراب: إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. الإنسان اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. كنود خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay, so straightforward. Once we learn example of اعراب of one jumla, we can apply exactly the same thing for other jumlas as well. Okay, provided the ismu inna is al-mufrad or al-jamul mukassar, because al-mufrad and jamul mukassar i'rab is the same. When it comes to al-muthanna, then we need to change a little. When it comes to al-jam'u al-mudhakkar al-salim, we need to change a little. Right, next, using inna with the jumla ismiya. I think this example is for al-muthanna. Again, let's look at the i'rab first. Okay, all right, sorry. Yes. So, inna as-sanata, sanatun, year. So to say inna as-sanata tawilatun. So we applied the rules of inna. The mubtada becomes ismu inna, which is ma'rifa and mansub. So inna as-sanata, khabaru inna is nakira marfu'. تركيب إن حرف ناسخ السنة اسم إن طويلة خبر إن. Indeed, the year is long. So إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. السنة اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. أن طويلة خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Sorry, for two علامة, there's twice, only once is enough. Next, al-muthanna, the example of al-muthanna. Now, let's see if I can remember from my memory. If not, we'll change it. Okay, we need inna again. Inna. So you're looking for al-muthanna, which is dual. So al-wala. The normal dual is wala with the alif. Yeah, this is normal dual, which is marfu case. But here we need mansub case. Because over here ismu inna is mansub. We need mansub. What is mansub? Case of al-walad. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the mansub case of al-walad muthanna? Alright, I think something wrong with my phone. Yeah. Yes, yeah, we don't say the noon, we say yeah. Yeah. And the noon is for muthanna. So innal waladaini. Innal waladaini the khabaru in has to match in an-naw and in al-adad. So ismu inna is al-muthanna, so khabaru inna also has to be al-muthanna, but it is in marfu case. So qa'imani with the alif. Inna al-waladaini qa'imani. So if the example is correct, we'll leave it, otherwise we'll change it. Now, تركيب إن is حرف ناسخ الولدين اسم إن قائمان خبر إن. Indeed, two boys are ill. Okay, let's change المريض. Anyway, we had two examples. We can say إن الولدين قائمان as well, or we can say إن الولدين مريضان. إن الولدين مريضان. Look at the اعراب, exactly the same. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. الولدين اسم إن منصوب. Now because it's مثنى, what is the sign of مثنى in منصوب case? وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه المثنى. مريضان خبر إن مرفوع. And what is the sign of المثنى مرفوع case? وعلامة رفعه الألف. Why? لأنه المثنى. لأنه المثنى. Got it? We did in the previous lesson about the كان and ليس. It's the other way around. كان and ليس, the مبتدأ was مرفوع and the خبر was منصوب. So here we changed it. The مبتدأ is منصوب, the خبر is مرفوع. Okay. Let's see next one. Example of المثنى. I think this is the مؤنث one. المؤنث one. If we just look at the meaning, I think I'll get it. There the two girls are standing. Yes. Let's do it from here. إن two girls. البنتين. إن البنتين. This إن is معرفة and منصوب. And خبر إن will be نكرة مرفوع. Standing. قائمتان. إن البنتين قائمتان. Indeed, the two girls are standing. We look at the اعراب. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. بنتين اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الياء لأنه المثنى. قائمتان خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الألف لأنه المثنى. Okay, understood so far? Right. Now let's move on. جمع المذكر السالم. Yeah. Example of جمع المذكر السالم. Let's look at the translation. Surely the Muslim men are pious. Yes. In Muslim man, which is plural, we know what is the plural of Muslim man. Muslimun with the waw, because the default always is in marfu case, but over here we need mansub case. Al muslimina. إن المسلمين pious because it's nakira marfu, so we need this in marfu case. صالحون. إن المسلمين صالحون. تركيب إن حرف ناسخ، المسلمين اسم إن، صالحون خبر إن. Translation: surely the Muslim men are pious. Look at the اعراب. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح، المسلمين اسم إن منصوب. Now because it's جمع مذكر سالم وعلامة نصبه الياء. So this is the ya, the sign of نصب. وعلامة نصب الياء لأنه جمع المذكر السالم. صالحون خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الواو. جمع مذكر سالم shows اعراب مرفوع with the واو. I need to mention الواو لأنه جمع المذكر السالم. Sorry, I think my connection is cutting off from my mobile. Okay, it's good now. Understood? Clear? Let's look at the example of al-Jamr al-Mudhakkar al-Salim again. Let's see what is the example. Yeah. So inna, the people. Okay, inna. There's two words we can use. One is an-nas, the people. An-nas is also can be mankind, but we want the people. So al-qawm, innal qawma. Now because the qawm is al-mufrad, is a mufrad word, but it gives plural meaning. Al-qawm, plural. So khabar, we need to use al-adad, plural. Innal qawma muslimuna. Innal qawma muslimuna. Indeed, the people are Muslims. تركيب إن حرف ناسخ، القوم اسم إن، مسلمون خبر إن. اعراب إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح، القوم اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. مسلمون خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الواو لأنه جمع المذكر السالم. Okay, so we gave you two examples. In one example, but two ways of اعراب. القوم is because we have the fatha, that is the علامة النصب. Over here, مسلمون, the waw is the علامة الرفع. The example of جمع المؤنث السالم. So let's look at the translation. Okay, hypocrite women are liars. We need inna, don't we? Yes, so we want an example of inna. Inna munafiqat. Okay, what is the i'rab of Jam'ul Muannas Salim in Mansub case? So what do we write here? Do we write a fatha or kasra or dhamma, or do we show i'rab with harf, alif, waw, ya? Which one? Jam'ul muannas salim. Remember, there's only two types of words we've learned so far that shows i'rab with harf. Number one, al-muthanna. Number two, jam'ul mudhakkar salim. Okay, these are the two at the moment we've learned shows i'rab with harf, and the rest of the isms we've learned will show i'rab with haraka. Yes, well done. So jam'ul muannas salim shows i'rab with haraka. So in mansub case with the kasra. innal munafiqati, innal munafiqati, and khabar is exactly the same, nakira marfu. So liars will be kadhibat, kadhibat. Now how this jama muannas salim show is i'rab in marfu case? Again, we know it is with haraka, but marfu case, so far all the isms we've learned except al-muthanna and jam'ul muannas salim, the rest of the ism shows i'rab in marfu case with dhamma. Good. Because it's nakira, so tanween. كاذبات. إن المنافقات كاذبات. The hypocrite women are liars. Sorry, again, made a mistake here. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. مبني. So let's change the quickly. So حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. So we don't need that. There is no over here. إن المنافقات كاذبات. كيف إن حرف ناسخ، المنافقات اسم إن، كاذبات خبر إن، عن إن اعراب. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح، المنافقات اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع المؤنث السالم. Because normally the mansub shows i'rab with fatha, and this ism, because it's showing i'rab with kasra, so we say niyabatan anil fathati. This only happens in jamul muannas salim so far. There are other words we will be learning later on. We say niyabatan. كاذبات خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. جمع المؤنث سالم, another example of, yes. إن teachers. Because جمع مؤنث سالم, the female teachers. المدرسات. Because of inna, we know it is in mansub case, so it's kasra. Innal mudarrisati مجتهدات مجتهدات. إن المدرسات مجتهدات. إن حرف ناسخ، المدرسات اسم إن، مجتهدات خبر إن. Verily, the female teachers are hardworking. Verily, the female teachers are hardworking. Let me just change that. Early, the female teachers are hardworking. إن المدرسات مجتهدات. Arab will be exactly the same as the previous example. Inna, again, sorry. Right, so make it easy again. If I go previous one, copy that and change that. All right, what was doing? All right. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. المدرسات اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الكسرة نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع المؤنث السالم, because it is جمع مؤنث سالم. مجتهدات خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفع الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Right? In the last lesson also, I talked about this niyabatan, mean in place of fatha, or in exchange of fatha. Because normally mansub shows i'rab with fatha. That is the i'rab al-asli, the original i'rab. But because it's jama muannas salim, it shows i'rab with the kasra. So in place of fatha, the kasra is in place of fatha, or in exchange of fatha. Now, example, al-jamu al-muqassar غير العاقل. غير العاقل. Verily, houses are big. We need inna, because we have the inna. Because jama muqassar, we need غير عاقل. So, إن البيوت. إن البيوت. So what was it? Big. إن البيوت big. We need كبير. كبير is big. Now what is the rule of جمع المكسر in Arabic grammar? What does جمع المكسر غير عاقل becomes? جمع المكسر, and it is treated as Yes, if we just say muannas in terms of number, we cannot just say muannas. There's muannas al-mufrad, there's muannas al-muthanna, there's muannas al-jama. Okay, so we cannot just say muannas. We have to specify al-mufrad. Yes, al-mufrad muannas or singular muannas. So how do you make kabirun muannas ism? Just adding the round tab ما قبل فتحة. إن البيوت كبيرة. إن البيوت كبيرة. إن حرف ناسخ. البيوت اسم إن. كبيرة خبر إن. Really the houses are big. اعراب إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. البيوت because it is showing its اعراب with فتحة. So we talk about it. اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. كبيرة, it is showing its اعراب with ضمة and it is clear, we can see it, is visible. خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay, next rule is less emphatic. All this time we were using inna, and inna means strong, emphatic. Sometimes less than that. Okay, sometimes happens the less emphatic. So how do you make less emphatic? Remember, inna is more emphatic, and how do you make less emphatic? To make a jumla isma less emphatic, use lamul ibtida at the beginning. Lamul ibtida at the beginning. The lamul ibtida is غير عاملة. That means it doesn't do anything to the jumla. No change. It is غير عاملة. The lamul ibtida is not translated. So when we see Quran translation and we see the lamul ibtida, ibtida means comes at the beginning. It gives little bit of emphatic. But when we read, because we're learning Arabic grammar, next time we see this lam, we will know there's a little bit of emphatic there. Yeah? But it is not translated. It does not do anything to the sentence. No, it brings no changes to the mubtada or to the khabar. It doesn't change even the name. The name remains the same. So in the chart you can see mubtada and khabar. The i'rab is both marfu. All we need to do is just add lam al-ibtida. Lam is always with the fatha. La. Okay, la. Let's see the example if I'm correct. La zaydun. Because it doesn't do anything to mubtada. Mubtada remains the same. La zaydun qa'imun. La zaydun qa'imun. Now because we need to label when we do tarkib, how do we say tarkib? Label the lam, lamul ibtida'i. Lamul ibtida'i. And zaydun mubtada, qa'imun khabarun. Zayd is standing. As I said, although we don't translate the lam, but we can see there's a little emphatic there. La zaydun qa'imun. Okay. The i'rab will be allamu lamul ibtida'i harfu tawkidin. You can add the harfu tawkidin. It gives a little emphatic. For inna as well, we could have wrote harfun nasikhun harfu tawkidin. We can write this part as well for the inna. So because I already said harfun nasikhun, that means emphatic. So because allam, we have nothing else to write about it. So that's why we write harfu tawkidin. and it is مبني على الفتح. زيد مبتدأ مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. زيد and two اللام لام الابتداء حرف توكيد مبني على الفتح. زيد مبتدأ مرفوع وعلامة رفع الضمة الظاهرة وعلى آخره. قائم خبر مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. So sometimes this lam comes at the beginning of جملة اسمية to give little emphatic, but inna a lot. If we want more emphatic with inna, what we want? More emphatic with inna. You see this lamul ibtida, it gives emphatic. It is called harf tawkid. We can use this lam. We can use this lam. But when inna comes at the beginning. Lamul ibtida also comes at the beginning. Which is stronger? Inna is stronger. So when inna comes, lam has to move from the beginning of the sentence. Lam has to move because inna is stronger and inna place is the beginning. So what does lam do? Lam goes to khabar. Lam goes to the khabar. To make a jumla ismiya more emphatic, use al-lamul muzahlaqatu. This lam has changed its name because it's going with the khabar. It is called al-lamul muzahlaqatu, used with khabar. The al-lamul muzahlaqatu is ghayru amila. Again, it doesn't do anything. The al-lamul muzahlaqatu is also not translated because we'll have inna there. So when you translate, indeed. But when we look at it, we know more emphatic, more than just inna. When lamul muzahlaqa comes with khabar, more emphatic. Understand? So let's see one example. Inna Allah. Inna Allah. Now we need a khabar. Let's add the khabar here, ghafurun. This is our normal jumla ismiya emphatic with inna. Inna Allah ghafurun. Indeed, Allah is all forgiving. But we want to be more emphatic with inna. So what do? We use lamul muzahlaqatu with khabar. This is the khabar. Because we need to label it separately, I'm just going to put the lam here. Otherwise, in writing, this lam will be with the khabar. Inna Allah laghafurun. Inna Allah laghafurun. So tarkib will be inna harfun nasikhun. Lafz Allah ismu inna lam lamul muzahlaqa. Al-lamul muzahlaqa. Muzahlaqa means changing from one place to another place. So because lamul ibtida is at the beginning, now this lam changed its place from the beginning and joined with the khabar. This is what it's called al-lamul muzahlaqa. And the ghafurun khabaru inna. Inna Allah la ghafurun. Translation, early, Allah is all forgiving. Surely, indeed, Allah is all forgiving. Let's look at the اعراب. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. الله لفظ الجلالة. اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. اللام المزحلقة للتوكيد. or we can say حرف توكيد مبني على الفتح. Okay, let's do حرف توكيد so it becomes easy for us. We've learned this word before. So حرف توكيد. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. الله لفظ الجلالة. اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. and اللام is اللام المزحلقة حرف توكيد مبني على الفتح. غفور خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Alright, we said we're going to talk about two حرف مشابه بالفعل. One is the inna, another one was anna. So this is everything we need to know about inna, and let's see how we use anna. Because I said at the beginning, anna must have a word before it, and normally it is a fail. So when we do fail, we will look at it in more details. So I don't know if I have an example of that. Okay, one more example of اللام المزحلقة. This is very interesting. Look at that. إن الإنسان. Now do the خبر first. كنود. إن الإنسان كنود. Why having the إن الإنسان كنود. اللام المزحلقة comes with خبر كنود. إن الإنسان لكنود. إن الإنسان لكنود. Again تركيب إن حرف ناسخ. الإنسان اسم إن. لام اللام المزحلقة كنود خبر إن. Translation: indeed, the man is ungrateful. So اعراب is exactly the same. إن حرف ناسخ مبني على الفتح. الإنسان اسم إن منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Then the lam اللام المزحلقة again حرف توكيد أو للتوكيد مبني على الفتح. كنود خبر إن مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Okay. Right, so this is the end of the lesson 10b. But before we go, let me give one example of anna. One example of anna. We're going to write anna needs something before it. Anna needs, as I said, it is normally, it is a normally is fail. Okay. Okay, easy one. أشهد أن Muhammad. So what does Anna do? Yes, Anna will take the ismu Anna in a sub case. So Muhammadan. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan. Then whatever we add, we can add here. Khabar will be Rasulun. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulun. So because ashhadu is a fail, so we're not going to talk more about it because we don't know anything about fail yet. So the example of anna, we need fail before it. Without this word before anna, anna cannot be used. So the translation will be Ashhadu, I bear witness, anna, that, or indeed, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet. Yeah. So just for the example, if we can move all this now, we don't get confused. And I'll finish it in a minute. Okay. So this is the example of anna. Anna must have a word before it. Normally it is a fail. Ashhadu anna. Anna will do is amal, whatever it needs to do. It takes the ismu anna to mansub, and khabaru anna remains the same, marfu. So ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulun. I bear witness that Muhammad, or indeed Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is a messenger. So this is the end of lesson 10b. Again, this lesson was a little long. These are the important things we need to know because these huruf we see in the Quran a lot. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq and understanding. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Okay, I have one question here. Right. Is it still Jumla Ismiya when a fail comes before anna? Okay. Whatever the before anna, that will, because it's a fail, that will be Jumla Fi'liya. After anna, that will be Jumla Ismiya. Another way to understand anna comes to join two parts. The part before anna and the part after anna. So anna comes for a rabat, to join both of the parts. Okay. So normally it will be Jumla Ismiya, but after anna it will be before anna will be Jumla Fi'liya, and after anna Jumla Ismiya. Understood? Please define harf tawqid. Tawqid means to emphasize. Yeah. Harf tawqid means to emphasize, or emphatic harf. Yeah. Okay, any questions? Okay, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.